Hey everybody, Derek Christensen from Legion Law. Hope you're having a great day. Today I wanted to talk to you about, will my spouse receive my half of the house after I pass away? The short answer is no. The longer answer is it depends, as it always does. Before I talk about that though, I wanted to let you know how to reach out to me. My name is Derek Christensen. You can find me at Derek, D-E-R-E-K, at legionlawpllc.com. Or you can find me on my website, www.legionlawpllc.com. So with that, let's dive right in. I get this a lot. This is probably a very frequent question I get about, I have lived with my spouse. I have been with her for 30 years. I paid our mortgage off together. We did everything together. Our house is titled in both our names and she passed away. Don't I get the house because I've done everything? And the short answer is no. The long answer is it depends. So the short answer is no, because on a deed, it states there's joint tenancy. What is joint tenancy? Joint tenancy is I own the house with my spouse, together 100% in undivided shares, and when I pass away, I get to do what I want with my half of the house. That means I could give it to my spouse, I could give it to my family members who are not my spouse, I could give it to the Queen of England for that matter. And at the end of the day, I get to decide what happens with my half after I pass away. My spouse gets to keep her half, but my half I can decide on. Now, there is something called joint tenancy with rights of survivorship, and that is a different type of joint tenancy, which states that if somebody is on the deed with you, and you pass away, your share will automatically go to the other person on the deed. So there's joint tenancy, and then there's joint tenancy with rights of survivorship. Joint tenancy is the default. It's what 99% of America is in right now, and in that circumstance, you can do what you want with your half. But with joint tenancy and rights of survivorship, you have to have a specific deed that has specific language that states rights of survivorship. Otherwise, you're going to be in the first category. And again, the first category makes it so that you don't have an automatic right to assume the other person's share of the house if they have passed away. So if you're in the default setting, if you're like 99% of all Americans, you're going to have to go through probate to verify that you are entitled to that deceased person's half of the house. Even if you paid the mortgage together, even if you lived together for 30 plus years, it was your family home, you raised your kids there, all sorts of things. It does not matter. You will still have to go through probate if you have that specific type of deed, which again, almost everyone does. Now, again, this other way to get the house immediately upon their death is to have a deed with rights of survivorship language in there, but that is a specific type of deed that's created with attorneys that has specific language and it's filed with the government. That's very rare. And so in that circumstance, in that rare circumstance, you are entitled to your deceased spouse's half of the estate or family home immediately. However, it's rare and it very rarely happens. So therefore, I almost always default to no, you'll have to go through probate to get your spouse's half of the house. So it's a bummer. It sucks. There's no getting around it unless you work with an attorney to get a specific type of deed and file it with the government. That's the reality of the circumstance, and it is not fun for a lot of people to realize that after the spouse has passed away. So, as a word of caution, you can work with other attorneys, you can work and get that deed done while everybody's still alive, and that specific deed with the specific language I mentioned earlier. And you can file that with the county court. It's maybe half an hour worth of work. It's really not that bad, and it saves a lot of headaches later on. However, many people don't, and they stick their heads in the sand and they forget about it, and then they rue the day whenever their spouse has passed away. Wow, I made that rhyme. So that being said, you're welcome to work with someone like me who does this on a regular basis, and if you have any questions about who receives what, under what circumstance after they've passed away, feel free to ask. And if you want to avoid this headache entirely, which is strongly recommended, creating a trust, creating the deed with the specific type of language, creating even a ladybird deed, which is for another video on another time. All these other legal strategies can completely avoid this circumstance in the first place. So reaching out to someone like myself will definitely resolve that for you, and I'd be more than happy to help. Again, you can reach out to me at my email, Derek, D-E-R-E-K, at legionlawpllc.com, or you can find me on my website, www.legionlawpllc.com. So thank you so much and have a great day.